Keith Ruck here at VintageMachinery.org. Going to put together another odds and ends video for you guys. You know, last Friday we posted one, and I was going to try to get through all of this stuff, but after going through just the stuff that we got at the Bardsley Summer Bash, I realized that it was going to be way too long. So this is going to be kind of a continuation of that last video. And actually, since I've recorded that one, I've actually had a few more boxes come in from the Bardsley Bash that I had shipped to me. So we'll be including a few more Bardsley items in this video as well. So it'll be a combination of Bardsley items picked up at the Bardsley Bash, some viewer mail, some horse trading, some just gifts from different people I've actually had a chance to meet up with some folks here lately, and they've been kind enough to send along some gifts. So let's go through this. So back a couple of odds and ends videos, I showed you guys an amazing collection of tool and die maker tools that I was able to purchase from a gentleman named Lou Cousins, who lives up in Ohio. And Lou has been at it again. He actually got up with Jack Hoyen, who kind of was my in-between up there. He went and picked the tools up and shipped them back to me, but he got up with Jack and found some more stuff he wanted to send out my way. So this time this stuff was just a gift, and anyway, Jack boxed everything up again and sent it to me. So let me show you what all Lou's been up to this time. So in fact, Jack sent me a picture of Lou, so I thought I'd share Lou's picture with you. I would have loved to get a chance to meet with Lou and just chat with him. I'm sure he has a wealth of information after a career working as a tool and die maker, working in automotive industry, as well as a lot of other stuff up there. So first thing here is a big cam follower. So this is something you could, these were, basically what this is a cam thing in here, and you can turn this and it will just adjust. And these were often used on jigs and fixtures and what have you, and this is a great big one, so that'll be nice to have around. You never know when you might need something like that. Let's see what else is in here. This is kind of cool here. So Lou sent along a big block and tackle. This would of course have a rope around it and give you some mechanical advantage when doing some lifting. Got some turnbuckles here for rigging or what have you. So anyway, this is kind of cool. I may actually temporarily, I got that big Monarch lathe that has that little jib crane built into it, and I've got that big forge off chuck on there that I actually need to get off the machine. So a chain fall would probably be a little bit better because it's you don't have to hold it up. This, gravity will take it down, but just to get it off, I may actually rig this thing up and take it out there and try it out because I'm kind of anxious to do it. But this is pretty cool little setup. Lou threw that in here and thought I could use it, and I'm going to tell you, this is actually something that will get used, I promise you. And in fact, it may even get used at the museum some, because we always are needing stuff like this out there. So I'll set that aside, and then the other cool thing that Lou sent me were several very nice indicators, and I'll zoom you guys in here to see these. So we got 3 indicators here. This first one is Mitutoyo 1/1000th reading. Very, very nice indicator in very good shape. This one is in excellent working condition, and it's a 1/2 inch travel indicator. So this is a Mitutoyo makes some very, very nice tools, no doubt about it, and that will come in handy. Again, with me trying to get set up where I have tools both here at my new home shop as well as at the museum, things like this are going to be invaluable to helping me get an extra set of tools. He also sent along a couple of these little Federal indicators. Both of these are, well, this one is marked in 1/2 thousandths. And it's got a really short range, but this is my finger's probably in the way, but that's only, I don't even see on here what the range is, but that looks like maybe 150, 200 thousandths travel. but 1/2 thousandths markings on that one. This one here has got a little bit more travel in it, maybe 1/4 of an inch or so, and it is in 1/1000ths readings. It's got a little long indicator stem on the bottom here, if that's throwing you off, but of course you can change these tips out. Anyway, some very nice indicators. All these are in excellent condition. You know, it seems like I've picked up quite a few indicators here lately, but a lot of them are just kind of real sticky and trashy, and I need to send them off and have them reworked. In fact, I think I'm going to do that on some of these other indicators that I have. But these, no apologies on these whatsoever. So thanks a lot. This one's going to go into my shop here at the house. Probably going to take one of these out to the museum and leave the other one here at the house. So next item here is another one that we picked up at the Barzy Bash, and this came from Andrew Padaka. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm probably not, but Andrew was there, and this is actually an item that he makes and sells, I think primarily on eBay, although I'm sure if you send him an email, thetoolmeister@gmail.com, he will probably hook you up with one of these. So but what this is it's got a little strong magnet in the bottom, and there's a little set screw in here. There's a couple of holes for different size shafts, and you can put an indicator on this, and it just of course sticks to whatever machine you're working on. So I'm looking forward to giving this a try. So universal magnetic base indicator holder for dial and test indicators, and again, he calls this product the Rook, and based on what I heard from some other people, I think you can look these up on eBay if you're interested in one, or again, give Andrew an email. I'm sure he'll be glad to set you up. So Andrew, thanks a lot. You've got a nice little plastic case to put it in. Looking forward to trying that out. Thanks. Next item here, this is another one from the Bash that just came in the mail to me after I shipped it back home, and looks like the mailman wasn't the kindest to my certificate, but still in one piece. But this is a nice certificate that Bob G at Bob's Flags and Banners out in Apple Valley, California. He's a member of the NAMA group, the North American Association of Machinist Educators, and he gave all the creators who were out at the Bash a nice certificate here. And I'll also just give a plug for the North American Association of Machinist Educators. You know, it is an actual association, and it is something that I think is definitely worthy of many of the people out here on this channel that are an educator, either a YouTube creator or a shop teacher or whatever, to become a member of. So if you're interested in that, I would encourage you to get a hold of Bob. I'm not sure if they have a website, but I know Bob can hook you up, and his email is bob43g@gmail.com or www.bobsflagsandbanners.com. Also, if you have any needs for banners or flags, Bob can hook you up. And I'll mention last year when I was out there, he gave me this nice American flag to hang up in my shop, which I'm embarrassed to say is not actually hanging up in my shop yet. I've been trying to wait to get some insulation in there and some walls put up, but I think I'm going to go ahead and just get it hanging up in the shop, and you'll probably see this in the background of some of my videos coming up soon. So Bob, thank you very much. It was a pleasure once again getting a chance to talk to you out at the Bash. So up next is actually some items I did some horse trading on with Richard Locks, L-O-U-C-K-S, I think that's how you pronounce it. Richard picked up some pretty good size tooling for the lathe. Got a big board bar there. I love that. And see, there's a bunch of inserts, hold downs, extra inserts, and whatever that goes with a lot of this stuff. But anyway, Richard is actually involved in high precision micro tooling in his business. And I'm not sure where he picked up some of this bigger tooling at, but he said this stuff is just way too big for the stuff that he's doing. And he contacted me. He saw that I just got the big Monarch lathe and thought I might be able to use some of this. And absolutely, this is some great tooling in absolutely wonderful shape. Some of it looks brand spanking new, like it may not have even ever been used before. And anyway, we did a little horse trading on a couple of items that he was looking for, and actually he's got another batch of some stuff he's about to send me that we've done some more horse trading on since this. You'll probably see in upcoming videos. So you know, this is just your regular what is that, a DNMG type cutter. That's what this big boring bar takes as well. This one here's, I'm not sure what the insert is on that one, but that's a more diamond shaped. This is actually a really handy size or type for getting down into the bottom of a bore. I need to get some more holders that take that insert. This one here is really interesting. So this is a threading insert. It's called the Octopus. I've never seen an insert like this. In fact, here are some of the actual inserts on here. But this is a threading tool. Again, it's got the 60-degree threading profile. And the interesting thing about this, of course, there's 4 pieces on there, but you can flip it over. So there's actually 8 actual threading, you know, tools, you know, that you can use in here. So you got 8 different uses on that insert. Like I said, I've never seen this insert before. Some of you other guys out there may be familiar with it. I'm anxious to give this a try. And like I said, these are sleeves full of inserts. There's extra inserts for there. There's extra Octopus inserts. There's some more of those diamond shapes, and these are all DNMG inserts that he sent along as well. So anyway, and like I said, we've got some more stuff coming from Richard soon that you'll probably be seeing in an upcoming video. Thanks a lot, Richard. This will be extremely helpful. You know, this big boring bar here, this is awesome. All this stuff is awesome, but you know, this is, I don't have anything of this size, and there's been a lot of times that I've needed a big boring bar, so I'm excited about that. Next item here comes from Earl Bauman over at the Enduring Gear Machine Shop Services, and Earl sent this along. Didn't have a need for it, but what this is a lathe dog drive plate that fits on an L1 taper. So this will fit on my Leblon lathe that I'm restoring, and what it's used for is you would put a center up in the lathe, and you got these 2 notches in here, and if you're turning between centers, get that in the camera, basically your lathe dog can fit down in this slot like such, and of course you attach that to your shaft that you're turning, and this is what drives your lathe dog, which when in turn drives the spindle that you're turning between centers. So you know, this will be another nice accessory for the Leblon lathe. I've got a good selection of chucks and collet chucks and all that, but I did not have a drive plate, so this will definitely be nice to have, and when I'm turning between centers, this will be just a trick to drive those lathe dogs. So Earl, thanks you so much for sending that along. Yet something else from my new Leblon that we're in the process of restoring, and looking forward to getting that going soon. And as long as I'm mentioning the Leblon lathe, I'll just put a little teaser out there for you guys. I know I didn't have a restoration video this past Friday on the Leblon just because of being busy, being on the road, going to the Bar Z Bash, hurting my finger, which is healing very nicely, by the way. But I did get the Leblon, got it completely stripped down, and got the coat of paint on the machine itself. And here's a little quick teaser for you guys to see, and we'll be having a video upcoming on the Leblon restoration project. Should be coming out on Friday with any luck whatsoever. Next couple items I picked up while I was on the road a couple of weeks ago. I was actually took some time and stopped by the shop of Forbes Matthews, and Forbes is a friend of mine. I call him a friend now. We met through YouTube, but I've actually been up to a shop. This is the second time I've been up to a shop, and he is one of the ones that was very instrumental in kind of helping me find the machines that I just purchased from my shop and help me with loading those and what have you. But anyway, when I went up and visited Forbes, he had a couple of items he wanted to give me, and this is some 50 taper tooling for my milling machine. So the first one here is you know, basically this is what a shell mill holder is what this is called. So a shell mill basically would fit down on here, or you know, a big indexable face mill. This is what drives it, and that's 50 taper. And then the other thing is this really cool boring bar. And I love this style. And there was a company that made these, and I was looking on here and I don't see a name, and I can't remember the name of it, but this style of boring head is just really, really neat. So I'm going to zoom you in here and kind of show you this, because this is neat. So down on the bottom in here, this is 50 taper, like I said, to go right in my mill, and then the boring head sticks out. Well, it's almost 9 inches. Let's just call it 8.5 inches deep. So you could bore something 8.5 inches deep. You got a nice, real thick, rigid shank here to hold it in there. You know, that's a good 2¼ inches thick, 2.5 inches thick. Yeah, 2¼ inches thick right there. On the end, you know, you got a little dovetail thing here where it slides, kind of like a boring head, you know, a typical boring head. But what you would do is you would adjust this to kind of get you in the range that you wanted. The real adjustment is down here on this end here, and this holds a little. This is a Valinite insert. It doesn't have the insert in there, but I can sure find one. But you can turn this little knob right here and basically dial this in. There's increments in here for 1/1000th of an inch, so you can basically turn that, and that screws this thing out in 1/1000th of an inch increments. So you can do very fine adjustments on this to bore stuff down to a very nice depth. So I was pretty excited to get this because I do some boring jobs from time to time, and as long as it's in the range that this one will work, this will be a really, really nice boring head to do some deep boring with. So anyway, I'm looking forward to getting a chance to use this on a project. So this next set here is kind of interesting to me anyway. So this comes from John O'Laughlin up in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. But John contacted me, said he had this really cool set of old textbooks that he's been toting around for years. Can't remember where he said he found them at, but just didn't really have a need for them, and I thought I might enjoy having them, and wanted to know if I wanted them, and absolutely, this is really cool. So these are all railroading related, and just a quick look in some of these books have copyrights anywhere from the early 1930s up to the mid 1940s. So and what these were, they're textbooks, and let's see, some of this stuff is a steam locomotive, some of it is early diesel locomotives. Let's just pull this one open. This is locomotive valves and valve gears. So there's the inside. I just looked, and it's got a bunch of different copyrights depending on the section of the book, but the copyrights in this one range anywhere from 1920 to 1937. So I don't know when the book was actually printed, but a lot of information here on setting valve gears, which is on a locomotive, which is something that is interesting to me. There's a lot of, it's not as simple and easy as one would think, and this is one in particular I'm really looking forward to look. There's the Stevenson valve gear. That's the one that we have on our Vulcan locomotive. There's different types of valve gears, and what these valve gears do is they adjust the timing of the engine for when the steam goes in, and different styles of locomotives had different types of valve gears. There were many different types out there. You know, here's a fold out with a bunch of illustrations on it showing forward, neutral, and reverse. I believe there's what it looks like. I haven't read it, but just knowing a little bit about valve gears, that's what it looks like. But very interesting. So again, the topics on these are anywhere from anything to do with steam locomotives to diesel electric locomotives. I noticed one of them here was on the Fairbanks-Morse. Here you go, Fairbanks-Morse diesel locomotive engine. Interesting thing about the Fairbanks-Morse diesel locomotive engine is during World War II, the United States submarines used Fairbanks-Morse diesel locomotives, or diesel engines in it. They were actually using them as generators electric generators to power the submarines. And after the war, that engine that was in those submarines and even the whole generator set became very common in diesel electric locomotives. And a lot of World War II submariners, when they got out of the Navy, ended up going to work for the railroad because they already knew how to work on a lot of that stuff that was going into these early diesel locomotives. So anyway, very interesting set of books. This will go in my library, and you know, the condition on some of these books looks like it's pretty good. Some of them, I see a little mold in a few of them. Some of them are kind of bent up, but the information that's inside is still in excellent shape, and that's what I'm mostly interested in, is the information. So thank you, John. I am really looking forward to studying some of these books, and these will definitely, at least some of them, the ones that are related to our locomotives at the museum for doing maintenance, I'll be reading, and some other ones I will probably just be interested in looking at, because interested in early railroading. Well, I think we've worked through another set of some pretty awesome items that have been either given to me, sent in, picked up at the Bar Z Bash over the last few weeks, and again, some amazing stuff. Still blows my mind that people are sending stuff like this in. This is really awesome, and just thank you so much. One thing I want to mention, and this was actually something that we were talking about at the Bar Z Bash, and I want to share this information with my YouTube viewers, because I think it'll be beneficial to not only my channel but all of the YouTube machinist channels. I know many of you guys that watch my channel also watch a lot of the other channels, and one of the questions that we get asked a lot is, you know, how can I support your site? And while I'm reluctant to really just start accepting cash or anything from my site, there is one thing that you guys can do that's very easy that will help support not only my site but any YouTube channel that you watch regularly. And one of the ways that we actually get paid for doing these videos is from the ads that run on there. YouTube plays ads at the beginning of our videos, and we get paid based on how those ads are viewed. And one thing that people do not realize is that the only time we get a commission on that ad is if you watch the whole ad, or at least if the ad is less than 30 seconds or up to 30 seconds, you have to watch the entire ad. If the ad is over 30 seconds, you just have to watch the first 30 seconds of the ad. So while yes, it's aggravating, you know, I'm always guilty of, or have been guilty in the past, I guess, of just, you know, skip the ad, you know, watch it for 3 seconds and skip it. But when you do that, we don't get a commission. And so one thing that you can do if you want to help support all of our sites is actually at least let the ad play. You don't have to pay attention to it. Although I'm sure the advertisers would appreciate it if you did. But anyway, that's just a little tip I'll pass along to you guys. Some of you guys may not realize how that works, and that would not only help my channel, but it would help all the other YouTube channels that you watch. So with that, we'll sign off. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you to all my many subscribers, and we appreciate each and every one of you. Appreciate all your comments, and we'll see you next time.